I started playing this single player zombie apocalypse game called Surround Dead, based on a recommendation from a friend. Recently, I've mostly been playing multiplayer live service games like Marvel Rivals and Helldivers 2, so taking up Surround Dead was a bit of a departure for me. Oh, actually, I should correct myself. I've also taken up playing Hollow Knight Silksong, like many others. So I guess I've been balancing out my usual focus on multiplayer games with single ones. But playing Surround Dead and Silksong inspired some thoughts within me about why the single-player experience is more relevant than ever. Yes, there are plenty of reasons why the multiplayer experience is popular, and I get into that in another one of my videos. However, I thought about the single-player experience and how it's an opportunity to get away from the noise and pressure of multiplayer, especially in this technological age where we are constantly connected to each other through social media and streaming platforms. Let me explain. Obviously, single-player games have existed for decades prior to today, so that's not something new. But I think since we have been inundated with smartphones, tablets, non-stop social media, and news cycles, our media landscape is busier and louder than ever. Often when we're watching movies or shows, many of us will also be on our devices, using them as a second screen, scrolling through social media or searching for stuff online. We're distracted and our brains are taking in more stimuli than ever before. It's hard to focus. But in a single player game experience, chances are that we are probably focused on the game itself. We might listen to music or podcasts, but it's hard to keep looking at a second screen on a separate device while gaming. Yes, live streamers have to handle multiple screens as they game and talk to the audience, but most of us who are just gaming for the experience itself probably see our playtime as a way to get away from the noise and distraction in the area of our lives. When I recently played Surround Dead, I was suddenly struck by this immersive atmosphere of being a survivor in a zombie apocalypse, even with its lower fidelity polygon look compared to the hyper photorealistic games from larger studios. I've heard that Surround Dead is made by one developer, which is a tremendous feat, and I can see how one person making this game led me to have this wonderfully meditative experience, even when a group of polygonal zombies started swarming on me, and all I had to defend myself was a sharp knife. I felt like I was getting away from the busy world, not checking my phone or worrying about staying up to date on the latest news. I wasn't concerned with having to sync up with online teammates on a co-op mission or to battle other players in a PvP situation that hinges on our mechanical skills and game sense. The same thing happened to me with playing Silksong. Yes, it's a hard game, but mentally I found it refreshing to get sucked into this mysterious world and play as Hornet. The experience of discovery, that is finding out how to move around the world and advance, was so pleasing and fulfilling. I was discovering these game mechanics on my own. Jumping, learning how to jump and double jump into higher platforms, and it was something I experienced